Ladies and gentlemen, Suge Knight has finally revealed who was responsible for the death and the attempted murder of him and Tupac Shakur. Ladies and gentlemen, I got the clip right here, courtesy of Choke No Joke. Let's get into some of this straight game, ladies and gentlemen.
Life is like playing cards. It's not what you dealt, but how you play it. Play each situation correctly. I remember they used to laugh at a brother.
Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. It's your boy Delray Richardson, platinum artist, platinum songwriter, Straight Game TV. I thank you for tuning in. Hit the thumbs up button. Also, subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And like I always say, if you want to be one of the first people notified when I drop some of this straight game, please do me a favor and click on what appears to be that little bell notification right below this video. Ladies and gentlemen, it has finally come out. It's finally come out. Suge Knight. I think Suge is tired. Suge Knight just revealed why and who was responsible for shooting at him and Tupac. Ladies and gentlemen, here it is right here. Listen.
But when it came to us getting shot in Vegas, that was the crooked police along with some crooked-ass, rat-ass gang members that was mad because Tupac fired you. And y'all fired back.
Ladies and gentlemen, I've been trying to tell you guys this. I think this is what Keefy D was trying to say in so many words. Why do I believe Suge in saying this? Because Suge has never really spoke on the fact that Tupac actually fired Reggie. Suge knew all along. Ladies and gentlemen, you got to listen to what I'm about to tell you. You got to listen to this. Suge Knight never spoke about Tupac firing Reggie. He never said anything about it. See, Reggie's been lying about this. Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. has been lying about this for years. Ladies and gentlemen, I showed you the documentation in where Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. actually told the police 3 days after Tupac's death, ladies and gentlemen. Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. went to the Los Angeles Police Department and told them that Suge Knight had gang members on his payroll and they were carrying weapons, ladies and gentlemen, which led to a what? A traffic stop. MC Hammer was the one who kind of cut the police off so that Suge and them could get away. This is facts, ladies and gentlemen. Look at the documentation. Look, this is nothing that I made up. I'm telling you. So now, Suge Knight has just said it. And the reason why. Right? Suge said, what? It was Reg and the dirty cops. And some snitching gang members. Now, I don't know who he's talking about in regards to that, right? But it is just confirmed that recently Keefy D just came out and basically said by him cooperating with the government, right, that he thinks that he's supposed to get some kind of leniency or the charges dismissed in regards to the Tupac murder case. I think Suge is just bringing it home. Like I said, I only been reporting on, like I said, when I got the documentation, the letter that Tupac fired Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. When Yasmin, Yaki Gaddafi, and you got to understand the connection with this. Yasmin Fula is Yaki Gaddafi's mom, Tupac's godmother, right? She was there. She was the one that wrote the letter firing David Kenner and also firing Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. had been denying it. He never said anything about it. He said something slick about Yasmin, though. And Yasmin slid that facts out. Boom.
put that out because I said something that she didn't like and she had some letter she put up. I can't say that I got it or didn't get it. I didn't get it. I didn't know about it. Because I sure would. I'm the type of nigga to be like, fuck that nigga. That's me. That's Reggie. If y'all don't know anything about me, I didn't need that little $300 a day profit I was making off for having those two guys on there. But like, you don't want no security. Let them, his homeboys do it. Let them run around. I hope he get arrested and they get arrested with guns on him so he's asking if I let him go back to jail.
Ooh. And Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. had been denying it all these years. Listen to me very carefully. Suge Knight had never said anything about that. Until now. On Choke No Joke. He never said anything about it. Right? Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. had been telling us he ran Death Row. If you listen to the whole interview over on Choke No Joke, Suge vehemently denies that Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. ever ran Death Row. I showed y'all the documentation and Suge actually doing some kind of deposition in where they asked him, who ran Death Row while you were incarcerated? And he said, Michelle A. But Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. had been trying to get us to believe that he was the guy that was running it. Suge also says that he put out one record. You got to go listen to Chokes No Jokes whole interview. But I wanted to bring you this part because, like I said, once again, when I was trying to tell people what it was, this is what Keith E.D. was alluding to when they went into the jail, right? And he implicated Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. in the death of Tupac Shakur. How many lies has this guy told, Reggie the Rat Wright Jr., in regards to the death? The lie he told about, Suge told me what happened shortly afterward. I showed you the video, but that didn't happen. Suge said he never came to the hospital, to his whole hospital room. That's where he said Suge told him that. Right? Then he wanted to invoke Michael Moore only when it came to the point where Suge told him that he was a lie. He said, Michael Moore, and the lawyer went to the hospital. But before then, he never admitted to it. That's what Michael Moore said he heard got him over the radio. Reggie had denied that. All of it's true, ladies and gentlemen. All of it's true. You got the letter. Proof. You got Suge saying it. Proof. He never spoke on it. Proof. Reggie lied and said Suge, they were at the Keyshawn Johnson draft party at the House of Blues. Right? And he said something in regards to Tupac firing him.
We went to this party. It was the night of the draft on the 1996 draft date. Keyshawn Johnson had a draft party at the House of Blues. And Tupac showed up. And I don't know who he was with. He probably was with Big Syke and Bogart. I don't even know if Bogart was still around yet. But Big Syke and somebody like the shit was like, Reg, where's Pac security at, man? Where's his security? Like, that nigga sent me a letter over the day, faxing me, firing me. I don't play no games. That nigga don't want no security on him. Cool. That's less of a headache than me trying to find somebody to work. And Suge looked at me and Suge like, we was right there in the middle of the club at House of Blue. So Reggie, don't play like that, man. Don't play like that. Pac, number one, he don't pay you no way. He ain't hired you no way. I hired you. I paid him. Don't play like that.
It didn't happen there. Ladies and gentlemen, that happened shortly before Tupac was assassinated in Las Vegas. How? How do I know that? I gave you the information. When was the letter written? August 27th, 1996. The letter firing Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. It couldn't have happened in June. Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. tried to put it out to June to some Keyshawn Johnson record not record release, draft party. That's 2 months. 2 months before the letter was even released. Remember, Yasmin was the one who wrote the letter. There were no letters firing Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. in June. It was August 27th. And Suge just copped to it and said what? Yeah. He was mad because Tupac fired him. And Suge said, yeah. Reg and some dirty cops, they fired back. Why you think Reggie wasn't there? Was Suge Knight? They asked him in the grand jury. He was, what? He act like he had to go to Club 662 to do something for Suge. Suge said he didn't authorize Reggie to do anything. That wasn't Reggie's position. Reggie was security. And when it came down to what it was, Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. failed Suge Knight and Tupac Shakur on that night. But not only that, that was my summation of what it was, because I couldn't speak on what Suge knew or didn't know. Right? But ladies and gentlemen, Suge Knight has finally admitted it. He never talked about Tupac firing Reggie. Him and Reggie were friends. Right? And some shit Suge, I guess he just didn't want to admit at that particular time, but it came out. Here it is once again. Listen.
But when it came to us getting shot in Vegas, that was the crooked police along with some crooked ass, rat ass gang members that was mad because Tupac fired you. And y'all fired back.
You can take it or leave it. You can take it or leave it. Like I said, once again, what he's saying is true, once again, when you think about the motion that Keith D just filed in cooperating with the government. He feels like by him cooperating with the government, right, that he's supposed to not be charged in the murder of Tupac Shakur based on what he thought was immunity that he had. That's what Suge is talking about. That's what it sounds like he's talking about to me. But then when he says the thing about Reggie the Rat Wright Jr., my God. I told you it wasn't a sprint, it was a marathon. And the truth cometh in the morning. Like I said, once again, you know, the sad part about this is Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. is still over there with Gullible John, the very guy who did not tell him that he filed for bankruptcy. Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. said he found out online through what a couple of people were saying. And then the paperwork came out. Amazing. Amazing. So when you talk about the facts, the real, like I said, I've given you nothing but straight game. Absolutely, positively nothing but straight game. I've also given you the video in where Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. says this about Tupac. Listen.
Put that out because I said something that she didn't like and she had some letter she put up. I can't say that I got it or didn't get it. I didn't get it. I didn't know about it. Because I'm the type of nigga to be like, fuck that nigga. That's me. That's Reggie. If y'all don't know anything about me, I didn't need that little $300 a day profit I was making off for having those two guys on there. But like, you don't want no security. Let them, his homeboys do it. Let them run around. I hope he get arrested and they get arrested with guns on him so he's asking if I let him go back to jail.
You still don't believe me? Well, maybe you believe Suge now. See, it was never nothing that I tried to insinuate, get you to believe, because I said it. I'm not into that. I don't care about that. This is what he said. This is what Suge said. This is the guy that gave him the job. This is the guy who knew from the inside what was going on, the temperature, and all of that. Ladies and gentlemen. So when you understand what it is, Suge Knight has spoken. What the authorities are going to do about it, who knows? Right? Like I said, Keith D trial is coming up. And I'm sure the government is listening, especially when it comes to Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. Once again, like I told you, Reggie has admitted to being a snitch. He's admitted to being a snitch. He said the only time I cooperate and is on. He said when I cooperate with the federal government or the government is when he tell on crooked mayors. Listen, he said he said I snitched on crooked mayors and niggas that I don't like. That's what Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. said. Yeah, he said that. There's no shame in this game. Like I said, that people operating under a different code nowadays, right? Phil Carson, former FBI agent, basically said that Reggie was a 137 informant. These are facts. So when Suge Knight says dirty cops, there you have it. There you have it. And so, like I said, let's not forget the initial statement made by not Michael Moore, but Frank Alexander and the other security guard. I can't think of his name right now. I can't think of his name. Where he challenged Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. to a lie detector test for $100,000. Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. never stepped up. Now we understand why. Amazing. So if you have nothing else on your mind in regards to the murder of Tupac Shakur, you can count by the words of Suge Knight that Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. is complicit in the death of Tupac Shakur. Like I told you before. But Suge has told you now, so I don't need to say it anymore. I gave you the link, like I said, in everything that he said and everything that he lied about in regards to that situation. And the fact, listen, you got to understand this one. And the fact that he had asked Frank Alexander to lie and say what? In regards to the fight at the MGM Grand. That Orlando Anderson tried to snatch Tupac's chain. And that didn't happen. See, Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. is like Judas was to Jesus, like Tupac said. He came to cause confusion. And as long as he can keep you confused, he can keep you off the truth. Trying to divert your attention. But Suge Knight has spoken about that night, about the Tupac firing. He never said anything about it, ladies and gentlemen, until now on Choke No Joke. Very, very interesting. Very interesting. It's very interesting. Like I said once again. And the fact of the matter was, he asked Frank Alexander to lie and say that. Not only did he ask them to lie, Frank testified to the police, to the government about Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. asking him to lie. Not only did he ask him to lie about that, he tried to pressure him to lie in regards to the Suge Knight situation. About the subpoena. Remember? 1 minute he's touting one thing in the public. I just wanted him to come to testify. These other channels were talking to Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. talking about, well, Reg, you wanted Frank to come testify, Yeah, I just wanted him to do his job. But guess what Frank Alexander did? He recorded Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. saying what? Frank, if you conduct the subpoena and not get subpoenaed, then everything should be all good. But in public, he was saying, I want, Frank to come testify, and tell the truth. No, he didn't. And Frank caught it on tape. Reggie was backdoor dealing the whole time, like I told you once before. But now that we heard it from Suge, we need even not think anymore about it, do we? Like I said, once again. And so when Keefy D was saying what he was saying, people was laughing, talking about, the person, Reggie, when he pointed to Reggie and said Reggie was partly responsible for the death of Tupac Shakur. Remember, what did Keefe D say? If I go to jail for the murder of Tupac Shakur, then Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. should go to jail for the murder of Biggie Smalls. Point blank, period. How does Keefe D know that? How does he know that? You just heard what Suge Knight said. Listen one more time.
But when it came to us getting shot in Vegas, that was the crooked police along with some crooked ass, rat ass gang members that was mad because Tupac fired you. And y'all fired back.
Your boy Delray, straight game.